New Orleans manhandles the Bears at Soldier Field. We talked to that and more on the other side of the intro. Welcome to New Orleans Fanatic Fever. I'm John.
I'm Josh.
Okay, bro. Let's hop straight into it. In 30 seconds or less, what is your take on this game? Go. Oh, that's me.
Teddy Bridgewater looks a lot more confident in the offense. He's throwing down the field more. They were able to do it without Alvin Kamara and Jared Cook and without Tre'Quan Smith. And defense was suffocating as always in the past few weeks.
Okay, yeah. See, I thought it was going to be a very drawn-out defensive struggle, but I was a little bit surprised to see the Saints really take command of this one. And I think it had a lot to do with the game plan that Sean Payton came up with. Let's talk about the offense first. Okay, so Teddy Bridgewater had a pretty decent game against one of the more better offenses in the, defenses in the league. And Latavius Murray came out and surprised a lot of people and ran against a very stout Bears defense. Murray's performance first. Go.
Murray's performance actually surprised me. With Latavius Murray, he actually showed why the Saints signed him. I mean, the Saints signed him to be able to complement Alvin Kamara, be able to get those tough yards, and he did exactly what the Saints signed him for. Being able to run against a Bears defense, and gotta give credit to Sean Payton. He took advantage of the fact that the Bears didn't have Akeem Hicks on the defensive line, who's known to be quite the run stuffer. So, not having Hicks on that defensive line, Sean Payton really took advantage of that with Latavius Murray.
Now, Teddy Bridgewater came out and he was just under 300 yards passing, which seems to be his comfort range, what we should expect from him. Drew's coming back soon. What did you think about Teddy's performance against the Bears, though?
I think he did a really good job. I really like how he managed the game. And like one thing that I've been impressed with Teddy Bridgewater over the past 5 games is his ability to take care of the ball. I mean, turnovers are very minimal, and the Saints have been able to dominate the turnover margin since Teddy came on as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, and I have to say what's really impressed me about Teddy, you mentioned one of them, is the ability to hold on to, not turn the ball over. That's been key. And also, time of possession has favored the Saints in all of their wins. I mean, they have held onto the ball. While they may only get maybe, 3 points out of a drive, they're still going like 10, 12 plays, eating up 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time. That keeps the other offense off the field.
And it gives the defense a lot of rest. It's basically the Saints methodically wearing down their opponent.
Defense really stepped up as of late with Drew being out, and I guess let's head on to talk about the defense. All right, Cam Jordan once again led the way with 2 sacks. The pass defense was, you can say that they were really, really good. The only thing is, it's the Bears. Mitchell Trubisky has yet to materialize into a good passer, which isn't surprising for Chicago. I can't think the last time they had a really particularly exciting passer.
The closest thing they had to an exciting passer over the past, 10, 15 years was Jay Cutler. That was the closest thing. I mean, Rex Grossman wasn't nothing to be excited about. But, I mean, the Bears, they lived on the mantle of defense. I mean, if you have an outstanding defense and somewhat of a mediocre offense that can probably manage a game, then you're good. But, I mean, in today's NFL, you need to be able to have, outstanding quarterback play under center.
What about this front seven, man? Okay, we knew Cam Jordan was going to be good, and Marcus Davenport is starting to come along. But you got other guys. The whole front seven, it just looks super solid. This was Well, not their best performance. They didn't get after the quarterback as well as they had in previous games. They still, I don't know, man.
They still rattled him, but they still were able to put enough pressure in order to make Trubisky uncomfortable in the pocket.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't say like make him uncomfortable, but I mean Trubisky is Trubisky. So
yeah, Trubisky is Trubisky. This is kind of hard. It's really hard to gauge this defensive performance against a quarterback like Trubisky. But it's like,
I mean, you want to talk about how they're probably getting after the pass. Let's talk about their run defense. Let's talk about how they held Tariq Cohen to 10 yards rushing.
Yeah, I think it was 17 for the wasn't it like 17 total?
Total yards rushing. They basically just took one of the key parts of the Bears offense, and basically it limited the Bears to only the pass, in which the Bears have been weak at all season long. Even with Chase, whether Mitch Trubisky or Chase Daniel under quarterback, the passing game has been pretty weak this season for the Bears.
I mean, the offense has just been weak for the Bears in general. Like, just terrible. Absolutely horrible.
I mean, Tariq Cohen, he's been like that shining star for the offense over the past few years, ever since coming out of North Carolina A&T. So for the Saints to be able to shut him down the way they did was huge, a huge confidence boost for their defense.
All right. It was not that much of an exciting game. What was bad though, however, was special teams. Special teams
started off the game amazing, blocked the punt, forced the safety, and then next thing we know, fourth quarter, it's 2 botched onside kicks, in which the Bears were trying to make a comeback for the ages.
Yeah. It's like part of me was just sitting there like, okay, garbage time, but at the same time, okay, they get the first onside kick. And then they almost got the second one. The only reason why they didn't get the second one was because, as replay showed, the guy stepped out of bounds first. And that was about the only thing there that kept them from getting the second onside kick. And I was just thinking, like, really? Is this really happening? Okay. Green Bay doing this was not a surprise, but come on, guys.
Come on. The Chicago, y'all were just up by 26 a couple minutes ago. Come on now. But, I mean, it's just, I think Sean Payton's going to really emphasize finishing the game off.
They have to. They absolutely have to. I mean, you can't have that. The onside kick is a 90% fail.
I mean, because you got to look at the Saints, as far as the past 5 games under Teddy Bridgewater. Though the Saints have played very well, you got to look at the game against Seattle. Seattle almost stormed back. You got to look at the Tampa Bay game. Tampa almost stormed back. You got to look at last week in Chicago. Chicago scored 15 unanswered points in the last 2 minutes?
Last 3 minutes.
Last 3 minutes.
Let's put
so this is something that Sean Payton has to really emphasize, especially going against the surging Cardinals team this Sunday, led by Kyler Murray. The Saints have to learn how to finish defensively, and not only that, special teams wise.
Not just that, but also, I mean, gosh, Will Lutz missed 2 field goals.
That was very uncharacteristic. It actually surprised me because of Will Lutz's range and how accurate he is. I mean, come on, he nailed a 58-yard game winner against Houston. But then again, they were outside in the elements. They were in Soldier Field in the windy city of Chicago. So, I mean, kickers have bad days. I've seen kickers do a lot worse. I've seen a kicker miss 4 field goals in one game. I've seen a couple of them do it.
But this was Will Lutz. He's one of the best in the league, and I want to see the second one. It was just like, he didn't even make the distance. He didn't just miss it. It didn't even reach. It was short. He kicked it short.
And he has a higher range. I mean, I remember when Oakland came to the Superdome. It was week when it was a few seasons ago, and Will Lutz was going for the game-winning field goals from 62, 63 yards out. I mean, he missed it, but he had the distance. And so, him being short on a field goal really surprised me. I'm not worried. I mean, of course, being in the element of Chicago, Illinois, I mean, I really think that Will Lutz is going to bounce back, but his performance, though shaky, I'm not worried.
So okay, what do you think personally for Drew Brees? Now there were some rumors that he was going to potentially come back for the game against the Cardinals, and um, then Coach Payton retracted it. All that's like, oh, that's not we're not targeting that at all. That's incorrect. Well, we're going to bring him back when he's ready. The goal was to go 3-3 with Bridgewater.
He's already exceeded that.
They exceeded that. He's 5-0. They're 5-0 with Bridgewater with one to go in the original 6-game span. No reason to rush Breeze back with the Cardinals up next, who have whose 3 wins over 3 bad teams, and that followed with a bye week.
I think Drew Brees should come back against Atlanta. As much as I want Drew Brees to come back, look, nobody want Drew Brees back right now like I do. Like, I miss having Brees out there. I miss his heroics. I want Brees out there, but at the same time, we need Drew Brees at 100%. So sitting him for the Arizona game and let him, they have that bye week and let him come back for Arizona. That's how we're going to know without a shadow of a doubt 100% that Drew Brees is going to be at full health, at full strength, ready to go for the last half of the year. So I say let Teddy get this game in. I mean, it's versus 6 games. He's already 5-0. Why rush Brees back? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Okay, so Saints are officially 6-1. The Panthers are
4-2.
4-2. The Bucks are 3-4.
2-4.
Sorry, 2-4. And then the Falcons are irrelevant. The heart of the Saints NFC South stretch is coming up. They get Falcons on the other side of the bye week. They have the Panthers after that. No, excuse me. They have the Bucks and then the Panthers, and then they play the Falcons again. In fact, might as well just bring that up. Yeah, okay, so Arizona, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Carolina, and then Atlanta again. So Atlanta is pretty much out of the race at this point already.
Pretty much. I wouldn't really say
the Bucks are still in it, obviously.
Mathematically, that's always very important.
I mean, anything can happen. We're too early in the season to start officially ruling teams out of playoff contention.
Well, unless you're the Bengals or the Dolphins.
Yeah, but I was about to say unless you have that losing record that just like, okay, bye, whatever.
Just bye.
Do you think the Saints are playing for anything relevant come late December?
Come late December, I think the Saints are going to be trying to make a run for home field advantage. I mean, I wouldn't say they have the NFC South on lock already because, of course, like last season, the Panthers were breathing down their necks last year until the Panthers pretty much imploded in the latter half of the season. But I really believe that the Saints are going to be playing for home field advantage. To the least, the Saints are going to be playing for a number 2 seed in first round bye.
Yeah. Pretty tough contention in the NFC right now. You got the Packers that are also 6-1, and of course the 49ers are undefeated.
And the Niners defense, I mean, this Niners team is scary. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Harbaugh's Niners, in a sense.
I could see that. Strong defense, good running game, okay passing. I mean, they're undefeated.
And also, kind of look out for the Seahawks as well. I mean, I know the Seahawks lost against the Ravens this past weekend, but the Seahawks have been playing some pretty good football as of late. So, I mean, the Hawks, they might be playing. I mean, if they can kind of get it together this week, they could probably be trying to make a run for the NFC West. That's if the Niners were to slip up a couple times, but.
Okay. To me, it still remains to be the Panthers. They have played some substantially better with Kyle Allen at quarterback. Cam Newton could very well be on his way out of Carolina.
I was watching this commercial. I think it was like NFL Play, something they do for the kids. And you saw this little kid talking. This is when Cam Newton, I believe, this was like during his first or second year at Carolina. And this kid was like, maybe I can play quarterback, and I can take your spot. You can be my backup, and people end up forgetting about you. And I think this is what's going on. And I believe that the kid was pretty much giving Cam Newton his future, because looking at how Kyle Allen is playing, the Panthers are looking damn good right now, especially with Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. And in my opinion, Christian McCaffrey is an MVP candidate for this season, just like how versatile he is. Kyle Allen is basically leading the Panthers out of the dark days. And Kyle Allen is probably going to be the guy that's going to save Ron Rivera's job out in Carolina. So Cam Newton, I agree with you. He could probably be on his way out, whether it's a trade, free agency. Look for some moves to be made.
Yeah. Well, I think that wraps up our show for the week. Look forward to hopefully watch the Saints continue to win. They have done absolutely amazing in the absence of Drew Brees. Or I would say amazing, but they have beyond exceeded expectations is what people were expecting to get from this Breesless Saints.
I mean, the thing about it was after the Saints, right after Drew Brees went out and they lost to the LA Rams 27-9, pretty much a lot of critics and experts pretty much left the Saints for dead. Started writing their obituary and eulogies, and now all of a sudden they're saying the Saints are probably the best team in the NFL.
That is a very huge possibility. All right, well, feel free to follow us on Facebook and check out our website, aisportsnetwork.com. This has been AI Sports Production, talking Saints football. We'll start talking a little bit of the Pelicans in a few weeks. Well, after our season gets started, and then we'll try dropping some stuff in there. Check out our bit on LSU and the SEC, and also a little bit around the state and Tiger Talk from this week. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you next week.